Absolutely, buddy glowing star, here. Your story rewritten in my unique, cinematic, and emotionally elevated style. Keeping every key event but giving it a smoother rhythm, richer vocabulary, and deeper emotional texture. Hash 15 black bags. The sun hung low over the cul-de-sac when I stepped out of the rideshare, the faint hum of its engine fatting behind me. After a 3-hour flight from Seattle, my shoulders finally began to unclench. The air was warm, soft against my skin. In one hand, I carried a robin's egg blue silk scarf, Mom's favorite color. In the other, my laptop bag held the signed contracts for a $2.3 million marketing deal. My proof, I thought, that I had finally made it. But my smile froze before it could bloom. 15 black garbage bags stood in perfect formation at the front gate, industrial strength, bulging, tied with military precision. Behind them, my mother and 3 siblings formed a wall across the lawn. Their expressions were calm, deliberate. Watching neighbors, the Petersons, the Millers, pretended not to stare. "Mom," my voice sounded foreign, distant. She folded her arms, chin lifted in the old, familiar way. "Kendra, you're 26. It's time you stood on your own." Each word landed like a gavel strike. "The bags," she said, "contain my things." At first, I laughed. Then I realized she wasn't joking. The contract in my bag, my ticket to belonging, felt weightless now, absurd against the gravity of this moment. When my father died, his will split the house equally among us, but Mom held the deed. My siblings had moved out by 23, proud of their independence, while I stayed, paying bills, covering property taxes, building a life that now sat in black plastic bags. "Why now?" I asked. "Why like this?" "The house is sold," she replied, as if announcing the weather. "The new owners want possession immediately." "Sold without my consent. I'm a co-owner." "You're being dramatic," she said. And just like that, a lifetime of loyalty dissolved into disbelief. When I opened the first bag, I found sweaters. The second, books. The third, shoes. Between them, the silk scarf I'd bought her, crumpled among cleaning rags. I folded it gently and slipped it into my pocket. Something inside me clicked, a painful clarity, sharp but steady. By sunset, I had loaded my car. Between photo albums, I found a real estate listing for our home, dated 2 months prior. They had planned everything, even the timing of my trip. My siblings' group chat confirmed it, screenshots, listings, comments about waiting until my big meeting so I'd be too busy to fight back. That night, I stayed with Harper, my closest friend. She poured tea as I scrolled through social media posts of my family's New Beginnings dinner at Giovanni's. Champagne, laughter, captions celebrating their sale. My eviction dressed as growth. When Harper suggested a lawyer, I hesitated. But the consultation confirmed what I already knew. My signature was required for the sale. I still owned 20% of the house. Days later, I discovered the final betrayal. Unpaid utility bills under my name, opened by my mother when I was in college. Identity theft, committed by the woman who raised me. I barely slept. My work suffered. My boss noticed the dark circles, the stumbles in my presentation. I blamed a cold. Harper gave me a leather-bound journal, asterisk to document everything, she said. It became my weapon. Dates, damages, every falsehood recorded in careful ink. When a property manager recognized my work from a past campaign, he offered me an apartment not yet listed. For the first time in weeks, I exhaled. Then came the text, "Mom wants to meet." Against Harper's advice, I agreed. At the cafe, Mom looked smaller, fragile almost, her cardigan the same blue as that silk scarf. "We did this because we love you," she said softly. "Love doesn't pack someone's life into garbage bags," I replied. Her mask slipped. "You've always been so dramatic. Everything I did was for your own good." "Was stealing my identity for my good too?" I asked. She blinked, caught between guilt and arrogance. "You weren't using your credit for anything important." I stood. For the first time, her voice didn't stop me. In my car, I realized I no longer needed her approval. The absence of that need was pure oxygen. I moved into my new apartment, a small studio with golden morning light. Harper and her boyfriend helped me hang my photographs. My art, once dismissed as childish, now graced every wall. Weeks later, I stood before executives in Seattle, presenting the next phase of my campaign. My phone buzzed again and again, calls from Mom. I ignored them all. Afterward, the CEO praised my work. "You have leadership in your blood," she said. Hours later at the airport, I listened to my mother's voicemail. Her voice trembled. "Kendra, the investment's gone. I lost everything. I need to stay with you until I recover." The old Kendra would have said yes instantly. The new Kendra did not. With Harper's help, I found a senior apartment complex near her church. The next morning in therapy, Dr. Reynolds said, "You're not abandoning her, you're setting boundaries." At our next meeting, I slid the brochure across the table. "Sunnyvale Senior Apartments," I said evenly. "I'll help with $250 a month. That's my boundary." Her face paled. "Conditions, I'm your mother." "Yes," I said quietly, "and I'm your daughter, not your victim." When she signed the papers, her hand trembled. Mine did not. Days later, I received the email that changed everything. Asterisk, "Congratulations, Kendra, digital marketing team lead." A year later, I stood in the sunlight of my new condo. My walls were filled with framed photographs, landscapes, portraits, and one image I kept for myself. 15 black garbage bags standing like sentinels at my mother's gate. Not as a reminder of pain, but of power. Because from those bags, I built a life. Because sometimes healing isn't about forgetting. It's about transforming the wreckage into something that shelters others. And now, whenever I look at that photograph, I remember. Freedom begins the moment you stop asking for permission to exist. Would you like me to make this version a bit asterisk shorter and more poetic asterisk asterisk? Or keep it long like a cinematic short story asterisk, maybe formatted for narration or YouTube voiceover?